Good morning, LinkedIn. It is Jeannie Fisher, a certified financial planner and senior 401k advisor with ARGI. And today we are pitting head-to-head the student debt versus 401k question. Now, in one corner, weighing it at a hefty $1.5 trillion is our nation's student debt. In the other, we have the lightweight. The median 401k balance of all working individuals comes in at a measly $0. Yes, you heard that right. Now, these two are battling every single week for your paycheck. And I want to talk through how you decide which to prioritize over the other. So, obviously, we cannot default on our student loan payments. So, we need to start by making the minimum student loan payment that we are required to make. After that, I need you to start or establish the habit of saving. Now, many of you probably have an eligibility requirement on your 401k. So, for example, maybe you have to work at the company for 1 year before you're eligible to start contributing. But what I want you to do on day one is identify how much you need to save in the 401k to get the entire match. For example, if your company matches dollar for dollar up to 5%, then you know you need to save at least 5% to get the entire match. So on day one, start saving that from your paycheck. Now, you may not be eligible to do it in the 401k, and that is okay. I want you to either save it in an emergency savings account or apply it to your student debt, but from that very first paycheck, I want you to establish the habit of saving. You guys, that match is free money, okay? It's an immediate return on your investment, and if it's a dollar for dollar match, then that's 100% return. There are very rare instances in this world that you can legally get 100% return. So don't leave that money on the table. Now, here's where the questions really start to come in. What about the extra money? We're making the minimum student debt payment. We're saving at least enough to get the match on the table. As soon as we're eligible to get into that plan, we're going to turn around and just put that money right in there, capture the match. Now what do we do if we have extra money? Just as I've talked about before, we have different risk tolerances when it comes to investing. We have different risk tolerances when it comes to life insurance. We also, shockingly, have different risk tolerances when it comes to debt. So some of you may feel very strongly about not having debt, and some of you may not. What I'm going to give you today, though, is a financial answer. Now, you are always going to have to weigh this financial answer with how you feel personally, but I'm at least going to give it to you. First off, Fidelity and Morningstar together have calculated the average annual return somebody could expect if they were invested in an aggressive growth portfolio from 1926 all the way to 2017. Now, this example portfolio was 75% equities and 85% equities, 15% fixed income, and the dividends were reinvested. Now, in this example, the average annual return of the portfolio was 9.56%. Now, the typical interest rate on student debt right now ranges from 5% to 6.6%. Some plus loans may be a little bit higher in the 7% range. But over the long run, the financial answer is if you're invested appropriately, you could be looking at a higher average annual return on your investment if it's a diversified portfolio as opposed to the current student loan interest rate environment. So there's your financial comparison. Now, there are a couple of other things that I want you to consider thinking outside of the box. First off, if you pass away prematurely before your student debt is paid off, that student debt is actually forgiven. I think we all agree that we hope it doesn't come to that. But if you have people financially dependent upon you and something were to happen to you prematurely, nobody's going to turn around and pay you back the extra student debt payments you made. But if you'd been saving those in the 401k, then that benefit would be there for your loved ones. Another thing to consider, if you make under a certain income limit, the interest on your student loan payments may be tax deductible. Now, there's been a lot of confusion because we had tax reform and people might confuse that with an itemized deduction. Basically, tax reform simplified some things, and we're expecting most people to move from itemizing their deductions to just a standard deduction. So there's a lot of questions out there about, am I losing the interest deduction on my student loan payments that I previously had? And the answer is no, not because of tax reform at least. It is an above the line deduction. So even if you still take the standard deduction, as long as you make underneath the income limit, there's still the opportunity for you to deduct your student loan interest. Both of those play into the favor of the 401k, and we haven't even gotten into anything like the tax-free growth if you do a Roth 401k. So, lots of pros on why you should save in the 401k, that excess money, as opposed to paying down student debt early. But again, it is a personal decision. Even myself, when I was in that position, once I captured the match, once I was making the minimum payments, as I allocated extra money to goals, I would do a little bit extra to the 401k and I would do a little bit extra to the student loan, because I personally hated paying off my student loans and I just wanted them gone. So there's financial answers, there's emotional answers. I think the most important thing is that you establish the habit. Establish the habit of aggressively paying down debt, but also establish the habit of saving. Because of compound interest, the most valuable thing you have on your side right now from an investing perspective is time. So don't forsake one for the other. Don't forsake saving for retirement just to pay off your student debt. Set a good habit, find the balance, and you will be successful. I hope that helped answer the everlasting student debt versus 401k. If you put them head to head in the ring, I really think that the 401k is probably the best place, but again, everybody's going to have their own opinion on the matter. So I recommend you speak with a CFP. Call us over here at Argy. We'll give you our advice and our thoughts. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Hope you took something great from this video, and we'll talk again soon.